Channing Tatum's ultimate career dream has finally come true in Deadpool and Wolverine. For nearly 20 years, he's been itching to play Gambit, having expressed his desire during the filming of X-Men: The Last Stand in 2006. Gambit was initially set for a significant role in The Last Stand, but his character was tossed around like a hot potato in various script drafts. One version had him as a student at the Xavier School and a romantic rival to Iceman for Rogue's affection. Then he was reimagined as one of the mutant prisoners freed by Magneto from a convoy. Ultimately, he was axed from the final cut, with several actors including Keanu Reeves, Josh Holloway, and of course Channing Tatum considered for the role. In 2009, Gambit did make his live-action debut, but Taylor Kitsch got the part. Kitsch wasn't the producer's top choice. They originally wanted Channing, who had tested for the role back during The Last Stand production. Unfortunately, Tatum couldn't take the role because he was locked into a 3-picture deal with Paramount, forcing him to star in G.I. Joe movie due to scheduling conflicts. Fast forward to 2015, Fox even gave the green light for a solo Gambit film starring Tatum with a director lined up. However, the project descended into production hell and was ultimately forgotten. Gambit was initially slated for release in January 2015 and was intended as a spin-off of the X-Men movie universe. Fox had high hopes for Channing Tatum and his character, but clearly the studio bigwigs had different plans for the franchise. Gambit has become one of the most beleaguered characters alongside Spawn, with projects for both being canceled and revived countless times. After Disney bought Fox, All Mutants officially returned home to become part of the MCU. As expected, Deadpool and Wolverine is crushing it at the global box office. And the sequel's standout is the cameo appearances of old familiar characters. Gambit stands out not just because of his accent, but because he makes his debut for the first time. This is a monumental moment for Channing Tatum, a huge fan of the character and the X-Men. 3 weeks after Deadpool and Wolverine premiered, Tatum told Variety that he was practically praying to God to return to the role and was deeply grateful to Ryan Reynolds and the entire film crew. The actor made it clear he's always been and remains a fan, with everything now in the hands of Bob Iger and Kevin Feige. While Channing's desire is evident when asked if there are talks about a Gambit solo movie, Tatum said it's too early to comment, but he has spoken with Marvel's bosses. Whether he's worried about jinxing his dream project or we should brace for more announcements remains to be seen. I can't help but point out that Marvel's busy giving solo projects to characters like Ironheart and Agatha. Seriously, is there no room for Gambit? Channing Tatum could easily step in as part of the main X-Men lineup. Ideally, I'd love to see a Disney Plus show in the vein of Daredevil Born Again. Especially after X-Men 97, Gambit has become crucial, and true fans know he's always been a first-tier mutant, not just some background character. Personally, I think the most likely place for Gambit's next appearance is in Avengers Doomsday or even Secret Wars. Marvel is promising us the largest movie in pop culture history, eclipsing all previous crossovers. We're already expecting the return of the Spider Trio, Wesley Snipes as Blade, and Channing Tatum's Gambit would fit perfectly into this lineup. Tatum is itching to get back, and Marvel won't miss that opportunity. If the studio decides to make a solo film, they could easily use the already existing script, tweak it a bit, and add some characters. In Gore Verbinski's original script, Gambit was portrayed as a thief who, unlike other X-Men, isn't lacking in moral principles. Remy always follows his own code of honor. He can charge any object with kinetic energy, making it speed up and explode. Unlike other mutants, Gambit can control his power. Plus, Remy is a social. He's not interested in other mutants' lives and doesn't actively participate in the clan wars. Despite his high moral standards, he prefers to look out for himself. He's known for theft and card games and has earned a reputation as a top specialist in certain circles. The movie would have explored Gambit's origin and the doomed romance between him and Belladonna, who is part of the Assassin's Guild. In the film's climax, Remy would have had to compromise his principles to survive entering a dangerous underground game. Another major element was the inclusion of the X-Men villain Mr. Sinister. Fox seemed to be setting up Sinister as a big threat across the X-Men movies after the timeline reset in Days of Future Past. He was initially supposed to appear in a mid-credit scene for The New Mutants, with John Hamm in talks for the role. However, the scene was never filmed, and it was then decided that Sinister would make his first full appearance in Gambit. But with film having been in development for 4 years and many script drafts commissioned, the movie clearly went through significant changes. What is known is that it was set in New Orleans and described as a romance, with some calling it a romantic comedy and others a more sensual crime thriller. Fox Studios wanted Gambit to have a unique tone to stand out, as they had Deadpool as a raunchy comedy, Logan as a gritty neo-noir western, and The New Mutants as a horror. It was also going to be a heist film, but details about what was to be stolen or who the target was remained unclear. unclear. Now everything is in the hands of Marvel and the studio execs. Kevin Feige could greenlight the production of Gambit at any moment, finally giving Tatum another shot or make him a vital part of the expansive multiverse as a member of the main X-Men team. Honestly, let's agree that the latter seems to suit Gambit better. Meanwhile, we wait for more news and announcements, and maybe Channing will manage to convince Disney to make it happen. Who knows? So, stay tuned.